welcome back. In this session, we are going to talk about how you can actually name a variable, like what are the various rules that you have to follow whenever you are naming a variable in Python. Okay, so let's put the heading, naming a variable. Okay, now there are only two rules that you have to follow whenever you are naming a variable. Okay, so let's write the rules in the comments. So rule 1 or rules for naming a variable. Rule number 1 is that the variable should either start with an alphabet or an underscore. Okay, nothing else. Rule number 1, a variable name should either start with an alphabet, and when I say alphabet, both small or capital are fine. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Anything between A to Z or capital A to capital Z, both are fine. Or an underscore. What is underscore? This key on your keyboard. If you say shift minus, you will get this underscore. Okay, so you can start a variable name with any of these. Okay, and the rule number 2 is it is not pertaining to start, but it is pertaining to the in between and the end part of variable name. Okay, it is that it can only have alphabets, which is small or capital, underscore or numbers as part of it. Okay. It can only have alphabets, numbers or underscore in it. Okay. So again, by alphabets I mean to say capital A to capital Z or small a to small z. By numbers I mean to say 0 to 9, and any variant like 0099, anything is fine. And by underscore I mean underscore in between or and end. Okay, so let's take few examples to understand this better. Okay, let's take few examples to understand this better. So let's say I write ABC underscore equals to 4. Do you think it's a valid variable name? Okay, let's check. Rule number 1, a variable name should start either with an alphabet or an underscore. So this is actually starting with an alphabet. So rule number is checked. By the way, both the rules should be satisfied. Okay, let me write and. Okay, means you should follow rule number 1 and rule number 2, then only it will be considered as valid. Okay, so if I run this will not give me error. Why? Because even the second rule, that it can only have alphabets or numbers or underscore in it between or at the end. As you can see, it is starting with a alphabet and it is only having alphabets or underscore between or towards the end, which is fine. So now if you print ABC underscore, what will you get? Yes, you will get 4. Okay. Now similarly, if I try to create another, let's say underscore AB equals to 5, and if I print underscore AB, this is also true because a variable can start with underscore. But interestingly, if you say 1AB equals to 5, and if you try to print 1AB, what will happen? You will get an error, invalid decimal literal. Why this error? Because it is not satisfying the rule 1 of variable creation, that is, a variable should always start either with underscore or an alphabet. Okay, you can also create with a capital. So let's say you can say name equals to AJ. You can print name. So it will actually print AJ onto the screen. Okay. By the way, these I am taking just for examples, but in industry we make use of very sensible variable names. Okay, so that it can depict what type of data is it being stored, what type of data is being getting stored into the variable. Okay, for example, I can, let's say I want to write a code where I want to store the first name of a person. Okay, and I want to greet them. Like whenever you open Swiggy or Zomato, at the top it is saying hello Aditya, your name, right? So what you can do is you can say first underscore name. As you can see, underscore is also allowed, equals to Aditya. Okay, and when you print this variable first name, okay, Aditya gets printed on this screen because this variable first name is actually storing this value called Aditya. Okay, so you give such types of variable names in industry. Similarly, you can give last name and so on. Okay, another important thing is that you can use variables to actually customize your code. For example, let's say I want to print hello and the name of the person, okay, and I don't know what the name of the person is. So let's say name of the person is Aditya, and then I can simply say print hello name, comma name. Okay, as you know, it will print both space separated, hello Aditya. Why? Because the name variable is storing Aditya. Suppose I copy this, I paste it here, and I make this name as AJ, and if I run this, then it will print hello AJ. Why? Because the name variable is storing AJ. Okay, so this is how you can actually customize your code using variables. Okay, and as an application, you can understand that this is being used at almost every company. Because let's say you are logging onto the app, it will say hello Aditya. If another person is logging, it will say hello Akshay. Okay, so the name of the person is being stored in variable rather than hard coding it. What is hard coding? Hard coding means when you are actually writing hello name, hello Aditya. So this is called hard coding. Means it will specifically print hello Aditya every time. By the way, one very big mistake that people do is that they actually write variable name within the quotes. For example, print hello name. Okay, like alternative to this. But if you run this will actually give you error. Why error? Because this is understood as a text by Python. It is not a variable. This variable should be written like this. You can see both are different cases. In fact, this brings me to another very interesting concept in Python, which is called formatted strings. Okay. So for example, you have two variables, a equals to 3 and b equals to 5. Okay, and if you want to print that a is equals to 3, so what you'll have to do, you'll have to end the quotes and you'll have to write a, and then you'll have to again start the quote because it's a text, b equals to, and then again you'll have to write b. So this way it will print a is 3 and b is 5. Let's put comma as well if you want. Okay, but if you don't want to do this, if you don't want to again and again break and continue with quotes, what you can simply do is you can make use of formatted strings. So how to use formatted strings? You can simply write print, you will start with f, and then you write quotes. Okay, now anything that you want to write, simply write it within the quotes without breaking the quotes in between. Okay, you can write a equals to. Now whenever you want to write a variable, like here this a was a variable, you will write it within brackets, curly brackets. Okay, you will write a variable, a is a variable, as you can see it's in white, and then you will write comma, b equals to again a variable b. And interestingly, if you run this, it will print the same thing but in a more sophisticated manner, and this we use a lot in industry. A equals to the variable a, b equals to the variable b. So tomorrow if you change these values, okay, so tomorrow if you make a equals to 3, a equals to 2, b equals to 6, so it will handle any such case. Okay, so this is a very depth discussion about variable naming and the use case of variables in Python. Okay, see you in next session.